Hi everybody. Welcome to the Clean Hamster podcast. And I know it's crazy to say that because it's the year 2026. Because the last time I uploaded was the year 2023. I think 2023. Yeah, insane. Um, and that episode got 563 views on YouTube, and that was my sweet spot right there. So it is what it is. But I'm coming on here because I've been itching to get back to this. I don't know if I'm gonna keep at it because I lost all the rights to my podcast like platform that I used to put it on to Spotify and stuff. I lost that because the management company that I was signed to while working with and for Curtis and Jacob had the rights to that, and I can't get back into that account. If I were to start doing it again consistently, I would have to start fresh, but I still want the Clean Hamster thing, and I want to upload on top of those older ones because they're good, I think. But I basically am making this today because I don't know if you could tell by the way I'm talking, but I'm standing. I can't sit anymore. I can't really sit and talk into a microphone anymore. I also can't be on camera anymore. It's a lot, uh, especially like in this setting. You know what I mean? But I'm making this today because it's been like 3 years since I've spoken into this on this platform. So, and I'm fully allowed to do this. I'm nervous. Don't know why. This is my thing. I own it, and I'm allowed to speak on my experiences. But also, I know there's a lot of people who have been asking, when is the podcast coming back? I miss listening to it. And thank you to every single one of you who has commented that, who has direct messaged me that. I love you. Thank you. That's amazing. I thought everyone wanted me fucking dead. You don't really hear from the people who fuck with you until the smoke clears and stuff. That's just the way it goes. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about that. I get it. Don't worry. But I just wanted to give everyone an update about what I've been up to the past 3 years because the last time most people saw me, I was standing right next to my two best friends on a stage. I was sitting next to them in videos. You know what I mean? I was touring. I was doing what I do best, which is stand-up comedy, and with the people I love the most. In the year 2014, I dressed up as Kanye West for a Halloween party and did full blackface. And I didn't suffer the consequences of that disgusting act until 9.5 years later. Now, in between those 9 years, I was a well-paid touring comedian with my best friends. Me and my best friends, who we started doing comedy together. We went to college together. It was an amazing thing. We built something pretty great. And one of our three best friends was like the most famous guy on YouTube, and he was like, "Boys, I'm touring." And then he took us. He took me and Jacob. You know what I mean? It's amazing. An amazing thing. I got to see the world because of the fellas, right? And that's incredible. I need to say something right now. It's so great, the stuff I've been able to do throughout my 20s. Because I am 30 years old now. I think the last time I spoke into this microphone, I was 27. The past 3 years have been hard. They've been a real test. I am basically doing my comedy career in reverse. You're not supposed to start by playing theaters with your buddies and then go back to open mics because you have the most fucked up digital footprint of all time. And by the way, I just want another sidebar to anyone who's ever seen those pictures. I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm furious with myself every single day that I wake up that I did that. It's regret. Every day I open my eyes, there's no such thing as a time machine. I can't go fucking change anything. It sucks to having to move, to keep moving forward and being like, I don't know when that thing that I fucking did is going to rear its ugly head again. It scares me. It gets me in the way of myself. I'm not making this podcast to garner sympathy or anything like that. I'm just letting you know what I've been up to the past 3 years because I'm speaking to you currently unemployed. Comedy in Canada doesn't really pay the bills. That's why we had to go, to other places to make money to do it. That's why you've seen us in big places. That's why you've seen me in incredible places. It's because comedy in the city of Toronto sucks fucking ass. It's horrible. And I don't know. I did kind of miss talking into this mic. Because I know it's not the most people in the world, but I know people listen. So the interesting thing is that like I think about this every day, and it's pure trauma. I know I did something incredibly fucked up, but I wanted to talk to everyone about what I've been up to and also what happened the past 2.5 years. But life is incredibly different now. Life is scary now. I was incredibly spoiled for a long time because how most people knew me was as, Curtis's buddy, right? The bad boy of the group, if you will, because like those two are so fucking Disney that it's like I look like the literal devil next to them, and I lived up to that for sure, But I also need to talk about Let's go back to October 7th, 2023. A war started, and then another war started in my fucking brain. It was Canadian Thanksgiving. I'm telling you the whole story. It was Canadian Thanksgiving. It was October 7th, 2023. My best friend Jacob and I were about to go on our own U.S. tour. And then while I was on my way to the GO station, he messaged me saying, "Dude, it's happening." And I went, "What?" And he went, "Those blackface pictures from you in 2014 on Halloween, they're like making their rounds on Twitter and on X, whatever, and Reddit. I've been scared for it forever. There's just no way to get ahead of something like that. I actually did have to wait for that to drop. But in the interim of that, I was living it up, being a touring comedian. And there was just this storm cloud above me constantly, right? I knew that was going to happen one day. I didn't really convey that the best in my fucking disgusting, stupid, annoying Twitter apology video. But like, you just can't, when you're in the middle of like a big ascension, you can't go, "By the way, fuck, I did this once. Hope that's cool. Anyway, can I keep being famous?" Like, you can't do that. And I actually had talked about it a few times on my podcast because I regret it so much, but then management made me delete those episodes after everything came up and everything was getting bad for everybody. I am still the one who did it, and I should be held accountable, and I was. I still am every day. I hold myself accountable every fucking day for that, but it was like people in my circle started acting brand new about something they already knew about. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm about to get on a GO train, right? Which is the best place to be when it feels like the entire world is like, "You piece of shit," and then your best friends go, "Yo, bro," and then it's getting fucking scary. You just want to you just want to die. You want to die. There's another part of me, and I still think this, that was like almost relieved. I was relieved. I was like, "Oh my fucking God, finally." Like, because I was like, when are those pics coming? Because the trajectory I was on and the things I was accomplishing that I had so much imposter syndrome for, I was like, fuck, it's just scary. It's just a scary place to be. I have a fucked digital footprint. I knew it. My friends knew it. Other people fucking knew it. You know what I mean? And I was in theaters doing stand-up. A lot of eyes were on me. I was like, when are those fucking pics coming? Holy shit. I one time woke up out of a sound sleep on the tour bus. And I stared at the mountains in Utah at like fucking 3 a.m. I could see every star. It was incredibly cinematic. But I was like, those pics are coming, dude. You are on borrowed time. That's exactly what my conscience said to me. And I'm not telling you a word of a lie. Live it up while you can, because those pics are coming. You are fucked. You're not going to know when. But enjoy every day until then. Like, that's exactly the feeling, the real raw feeling I had. Enjoy this while you can. You are on borrowed time. That's kind of been my feeling while doing things with my two best friends the entire time, actually. Because if you look back, I never really was. I was always kind of a hubcap. I would always fall off, come back, fall off, come back. It's always been those two. Ever since I met them. Dean Can Come Too has always felt like the vibe. Anyway, I'm on the GO train on the way to my mom's house, and I start looking at Twitter, I start looking at Reddit, and shit's going. It is snowballing. And then before you know it, The fellas are in contact with me. And deep down, I know. I'm like, this is the day that my friends fire me. I'm not. This tour with Jacob isn't happening. These upcoming tours in Europe, in the UK, and Australia, again, are not. I am not going. There's no way I'm going. People are trying to reassure me. You're going to be fine. No one's going to care. There's a war happening. That should take up more of the news cycle than what you did in 2014. Someone actually said that to me, and I agreed. I went, yeah, you're right. There is a war happening. Nope. Because the thing is I've always been on thin ice with Curtis's fans, and I understand why. I completely understand why. I am not like him at all, because he's a good person. And if you look at my friggin' statistics, it just never was a perfect match made in heaven. Always on thin ice with his fans. Now, a lot of his fans still fuck with me, but most of his fans are like, get that guy the fuck out of here, or I'm going to terrorize this entire operation. And I don't blame you for that. When you're on your way to your mom's house for Thanksgiving and your whole career flashes before your eyes, it's a really interesting feeling because you immediately lose appetite, and and you're scared, but you're like, I deserve this. I fully deserve this. I was trying to like there's a moment where you're like, oh no, I feel so sorry for myself. I was like, I don't, man. I never really faced the consequences of that disgusting act that I did on Halloween in 2014. I never really did. Life just kept going. And they put a 9.5-year delay on that. I'm saying they is like the universe, I guess. And then this was it. This is exactly what this is a fitting punishment for that crime. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is everything you've ever wanted? To be a comedian? Touring the world with your best friends who you started comedy with? Yeah, not anymore. Now, when it comes to that getting taken away from me, I get it. I fully understand. It is a business, but at the end of the day, these are also my best friends. And that's something I've been playing tug of war with in my brain for 3 years now. Is that management got involved, and they were kind of saying things on behalf of, like when shit gets real and lawyers are like, Mr. So-and-so does not recall the, like it started to become a lot of emails that sounded like that. Like it was very, very lawsuity. And hey man, I was on weird phone calls with the guys. They sounded different. They were saying things. Because they were also going through like this thing for the first time. No one can pass this first time test. And the real test is like, okay, you went into business with your best friends, right? And you are fucking playing theaters. You're selling merch. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of jobs involved too. And Curtis is a literal corporate brand at this point. He is. Bad timing for a burp. So sorry. He's a literal corporate brand. Now, if one of his best friends is around and can potentially compromise a bunch of stuff, yeah, get him the fuck out of here. I get it. Because decisions like that are made in the moment. But once time passes, and time has passed, what's really important, and I don't mean to sound fucking cheesy, but what's really important is the real, raw friendship and love we have for one another. Did I feel disrespected? Of course. Did I feel like I had always been disrespected and never taken seriously as a best friend, as a comedian? Yes, I did. But also, two things can be true once. I had to understand their fucking decision. I had to completely. Was I fucking losing my mind? Every single day being like, why can't one of them just be like, yo, guys, Dean's not like that. Like, he fucked up. That shouldn't be him forever in your brain. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucked. No one should hold him to that. Like, I wanted them to defend me like crazy. I did. They didn't, because that would be a bad look for them. And I get it. You got to protect your own. But also, how could you? You know what I'm saying? These are like, and I'm talking, like, you guys might not think, like, are they really friends? Like, these are my best friends. Like, my only best friends. Some of you might think, like, oh, they just do comedy. Like, they met recently. Not true. Like, fuck, may as well have grown up with them, for real. Like, met them in the year 2013. My best buddies, my best fucking friends went, sorry, dude, we have to fire you. There could have been another way to go about it, but we can't go back in time and figure that out, can we? Because we're here now, and that's what they did. But over time, there's subtle signs that I know they regretted how they handled it, but I don't blame them because they have never been put to the test on something like that before. So I give them my grace. Of course I do. But are things the same? Absolutely not. We don't live the same life anymore. I have no money. They both have so much money. Sorry. Every single vintage t-shirt I bought on tour when I was with them, because we just had money to fucking spend, we had per diems, life was good, getting checks after every show, all the vintage t-shirts, sweaters, basketball jerseys that I bought on tour all over America, I'm selling them all now. I'm trying to sell all of them on eBay. I don't have any money. You know what I mean? Anyway, how scary life was when I was going through that. How much you think people know, how much you think your shit crosses someone's feed, right? Like it induces so much paranoia. I don't think a lot of people notice, because a lot of people think like, oh, getting canceled never works. Like right here, guys, it fucking works like a charm. It works like a charm, okay? But a massive blessing in disguise. I'm going to take a sip of water and hit my vape because and I'm going to give some of you guys a break too. I know this saga is palpable. Ooh. Okay, hang on one sec. Sorry, guys. This is also a lot to relive. It's just give me just one sec. So, how I found out I got canned from touring with them and fired from the company and everything was I think I got a text from Curtis saying, "Yo, buddy, heads up. I had to post on Reddit today." It's a real text. And then that's where his statement was about me and how I'm no longer involved. And it was pretty gut-wrenching. And you could tell he didn't write it, but you could tell he was advised to post it, and he did, because he just doesn't want... Because why would anyone want that kind of smoke? You know what I mean? He was like, yes, whatever gets me off this and onto the next thing. Because also, if anyone remembers the timing of all this is when he was releasing his first ever special behind a paywall on a website. I think the special was called Get Busy. That was the hour he was touring the whole time when I was touring with him. Like, the timing on this, not that there's ever good timing. It's just like it could have fucked up his name and his everything. Like, it just could have fucked up but it didn't, because he's massive. And his name being attached to mine just made it worse, obviously. It made it seem worse than it was in my eyes, because I'm like, because then, a bunch of low-level commentary YouTubers are using his name to get clickbait on the situation that involves just me. I'm the only one who did something wrong. I'm the only one who fucking did that. I'm the only one who should be in trouble. It was unfair that my friends were also getting heat, but they didn't get that much heat. I'm sure at the time it felt like they were getting as much heat as me, because they also suffered something in this. You know what I mean? They had to fire their best friend. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to be them. They have some trauma from this as well. And that's something I need to remind myself all the time. I'm not waking up every day being like, those guys are just living it up and they forgot about me. That's not how I think. I know that they also have feelings towards it. They might not know how to convey those feelings, because they are both very non-confrontational, keep it moving, whatever, it is what it is, we'll figure it out type guys. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to talk about that kind of shit. They just want to keep it moving and keep what they have, because they've both worked so hard to have what they have. I was a loose end who... Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean the guy who gets the least views? Did something fucked up? Yeah, get him out of here. Fire. It's like a no-brainer, you know what I mean? I wasn't really essential to the operation. And if some of you are saying, no, you were, thanks. I appreciate that. But not special enough. Not special enough to where anyone would come to my defense to go, yo, guys, he's not that fucking guy. No one did. It was like, would I do that to them? No. I really sat with myself and thought about that. If one of my buddies did something like that, or did that thing exactly, when they were 18 years old, and they fucking didn't know any better. And you know what? I should have known better. I fucking didn't. And I had the power. And I had people in my ear saying, you got to fire your friend. Yo, he's going to fuck everything up. This is not good. I wouldn't fucking do it. Because I would have the anxiety that they'd be mad at me. That they'd stop being my friend. But what I learned about my two buddies is that, like, they didn't seem too fucking worried about what I'd think. And that comes from a lack of respect. And this is how I feel. And this is a real raw feeling of mine. Was I ever really respected? No, I was always seen as like the dumb little brother who doesn't know anything. Yeah, we'll let him come along. Like, that's what it fit. You know what I mean? I never really felt respect because how much reassurance I got after that happened, where it's like, don't worry, buddy. Like, we still love you. You're still our friend. But the actions didn't show it. We don't hang out as much. We don't do shit as much. We really don't. It's not the same. And that's because circumstances are different too. We don't live the same life. I don't have the same job as them anymore. But everything went down. It's not the same. It is awkward. If I'm ever with those two now, I get fucking anxiety. I get triggered. It's traumatizing to see those two in person now. Because they said one thing to me in private and then said another thing to the fans. To the followers, to the subscribers. I kept wanting to salvage the friendship. All the time I'd be like, okay, but like we're still hanging out, right? Come over, we'll play video games and stuff. And then after years of doing that, you know, I'm a bitch for that. If your two best friends fired you and it was like public knowledge and everyone went, they got rid of Dean, and then you saw that friend still hanging out with those two friends that fired him, wouldn't you be like, that guy's a bitch? What the fuck? He should go get new friends. Why is he still trying to? This is how I feel. This is it. Also, I've been in therapy and I've been diagnosed with PTSD because of this. Other shit from childhood, but this was the situation that really blew the lid off the pot. And I need to reiterate this. This is not a woe is me thing. This is not me trying to prompt anyone's emotions to give me sympathy. Everything that happened to me is what I deserved. It really sets you off track to watch your best friends take no time to make the decision, yeah, he's gone. Get him out of here. Like, it really fucks you up. Because you rethink everything. You rethink how authentic was the friendship. How could you put appeasing your fans and subscribers and ticket buyers? How could you prioritize them over your real life best friend? In the moment, was it a good business decision? Absolutely. But in the long run, was it a good friendship decision? Fuck no. It's different now. I don't trust anybody anymore. I have relationships that have failed because of that. I am incredibly avoidant, and that anxious attachment style. Well, they're just gonna fuck me over anyway. That is alive and well because of this. I'm alone a lot more. I can't trust anybody. You know, it's sad. There was a day where I was fired. They had to remarket and re-advertise the tour I was about to go on with Jacob. They quickly rerouted and they made it a solo Jacob tour. There was a few days after that where I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get a job, right? Like, because I had just like paid so much, like I just in bills, taxes, whatever. And I was like basically out of money, but I was like, oh, don't worry. At least these 3 tours are coming up. At least my visas are in processing for the UK, for Australia again, and for Europe, right? So I was like, I got big paydays coming. I'm good. And then, bang, all that shit came out. And I was like, oh, fuck. And and everyone's being a little weird. Like, no, we're going to see we're going to take we'll see what the actions we can do. Like, everyone's kind of dicking me around and stuff. And the screws were really put to me, for releasing like an apology video to like set it in stone and stuff like that. And I really had no choice. My hands were tied and I was against the wall. Like, it was bad because it wasn't about me. It was about saving the real money makers, the golden goose. And these are also people that I like had become friends with, that I had like spent a lot of time with, basically lived with on tour buses and in hotels, this management team. They had to do what they had to do. They have a job for a reason. And they took that job because they have no problem being like, hey, on behalf of so-and-so, you're fired. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wrote this up. We advise you to do this. You need to do this because it needs to protect this person because you're the weakest link. Like, you have to go. And I get it. But here we are again. I get it, but how fucking could you? You know what I mean? That's all. I get it, but how could you? That's all I've ever thought. Every time I see my fucking friends now, which is not that often, but every time I see them, every time I look in their eyes, that's the first thing that goes into my brain. I get it, but how could you? It's unbelievable. Would I have done that to you? No. Not in a million years. And there's almost a part of me that kind of for a little while, I haven't thought about this in a while, but for a little while there was the thing being like, if either of those guys ever like get in like a big fucking amount of trouble, I can't wait to come to their defense to show them what a real fucking best friend would do. I was a dumb teenager. I was a dumb fucking kid. I had no brain at that time. Some people still think that's not a viable excuse. It is. And I was living alone. I was in college. I was like, this is going to be a great costume. Holy fucking shit. What an idiot. What a piece of shit idiot. What an uneducated little fucking asshole I was. It's unbelievable to think back on how fucking stupid I was. It's fucked. I cannot believe I was that stupid. Anyway, let me continue here. So I had to get a job, like immediately. I had to get a job. And luckily I applied to like, because I didn't really know what I was like, I'm also a comedian, but I was like, well, okay, I got a job like working at like a warehouse where I was just organizing vintage clothing all the time, right? And I started quick, right? And I'm in trouble on the internet, like big time. Like big fucking time. YouTube videos, big Twitter threads, big Reddit threads. I step into this fucking warehouse. I have to like do e-commerce all day. I'm taking pictures of vintage t-shirts. I'm uploading them to Etsy for some fucking stupid bald guy. And I work with another guy, 24-year-old kid. His name's Brandon. Shout out Brandon, because he wasn't the best guy in the world. Neither was I. Because he met me at the worst point in my life at this point, right? I'm a ball of anger. I'm angry at myself. I'm angry at the world. I'm angry at my friends. I'm angry at everything. I think my third day at this job, he's sitting about 10 feet away from me on another computer. He goes, yo, is this why you work here? And holds up his phone with a picture of me in blackface on it. And I go, yeah. And he goes, fuck, dude, why'd you do that? Now, that's an interesting question. I don't fucking know, dude. I don't fucking know. I don't know why I did that. So that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe he found my Instagram. Maybe he saw the number of followers. Maybe curiosity got the best of him and he went down a wormhole. Or maybe it just popped up on his TikTok feed because he's 24 years old. Maybe he has Reddit because he's 24 years old. I don't fucking know. But that's how I had to live. And by the way, for more context, my first day at this job was the day I was supposed to start the tour with Jacob. It was November 13th, 2023. It was the day I was supposed to start the tour with Jacob in Chicago, at the City Winery in Chicago. Couldn't make it. I think Danny Gonzalez took my place. I was so filled with paranoia every day. I would also ride a bus from the subway station that took me down to this warehouse. And more often than not, I was on this bus with high school children. I've been in that situation where I'm sitting on a bus and there's a group of 3 or 4 11th or 12th graders huddled around a phone looking down at it and then looking back up at me. And by the way, 11th and 12th graders, they don't know how to whisper. I've heard them. Oh, yo, that's him. I've heard him. I've heard it. I've fucking lived it. There was another time. This is the craziest shit. There was one time where I was so paranoid because I also keep in mind I had to reinvigorate myself introduce myself to the Toronto stand-up comedy scene at this point, late 2023. I still knew a lot of them and was on great terms with a lot of them, but for the past 3 years before that, I was touring like with my friends. I was working the best part of this job meaning stand-up comedian. I had the best version of this job. The goal. That's what we all wanted. I had it. Now it's behind me. It's in my rear view. And what's in front of me? All right, hit reset button. You know what I mean? Fucking get off your phone. Stop worrying about it. You can't change the past. You know yourself. You've grown. You fucked up. And now you're paying for it. But guess what? Time to get to work. You're fucking good at stand-up. Go. That's exactly what I was saying to myself every single day. And it was amazing. It really helped. I really dug myself out of a lot of fucking dark holes. Like, I think getting back out there, starting to do open mics, getting to know producers of shows. I was doing my thing. I felt good. Made a lot of great new friends. Also met a lot of people who went, that's kind of fucked up what your buddies did to you. Met a lot of people who had no problem saying that to me. Met a lot of people who went, it's fucked that you did that thing, but clearly that's not you, and that's a fucking fucked up mistake that you made when you were a kid. But that's fucked up what your friends did to you, because you're all adults now. And they knew about it, didn't they? And I went, yeah, they did. But they had to save their own skins because they got a lot more at stake than me. And they went, yeah, I guess, but that's kind of fucked up because those are your friends. And I went, yeah, I know. Anyway, I think the worst part, there was a night where I was booked on a show, and I was like promoting the poster on my Instagram story and stuff. And then I got put in a group chat from the producer of this show being like, hey guys, low ticket sales tonight. Don't think we're going to be able to do it, but I'll have you guys on next time. You know, there's no point in doing the show. No one's going to show up tonight. And I was so deep in my paranoia from how much trouble I was in on the internet at that point that I thought, for real, that they did that she put that in a group chat and then started a new group chat without me to get me to not come to the show. Because, I don't know, in my fucked up paranoid brain, someone messaged her being like, you're going to have this racist piece of shit on your show. Like, that's where I was. That's how fucking paranoid. And also, not that far off. That could happen. I don't know. But I was so fucked up from that. Let me tell you guys something. I walked all the way to this venue to go see if they were doing this show without me. And when I walked in there and the bartender was like, there's no show tonight, dude. And I walked by him and went down to the basement where the show area was to check anyway. And it was pitch black in that room. Oh, that walk I had home after. I was looking in the reflection of a lot of windows, let me tell you. I was like, Dean, you got to get it the fuck together, dude. Anyway, I felt like I was, I had this rough feeling where I was still very much like, do my friends still like me? And I don't know why I had that for so long. They had no problem discarding of me publicly. That I was still trying to impress them, trying to, you know, but they were busy. They still had these tours to do. One less guy. A little more stage time for the boys. A little more money for the boys. But it's like, I was scared every fucking day. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Is this going to ruin my career forever? And like I said at the top of this episode, how many more times is this fucking thing that I've done, this horrible thing that I've done, going to rear its ugly head and fuck up something that I worked hard for? Because that's the thing. I know I was given a lot by my friend Curtis. I know I was given a lot of great opportunities. But when it was time to get the work done, I did the fucking work. And I know a lot of you saw me do stand-up comedy in different cities across America. Maybe even in Australia you saw me. And you know I did my fucking job. And you know what I'm capable of. You know I'm good up there. This is what I do. So yeah, of course, I was spoiled as hell. And incredibly lucky and grateful for the experiences. But I did the work. I can fucking perform in theaters. You guys saw. But it was such a great test to go back to the Toronto stand-up scene and start doing smaller shows and start from the ground up. And see if I'm actually funny too. Because the other thing is that when you're performing in front of fans, people who already like you and like your buddy and your other buddy, it's kind of impossible to bomb. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Because I've noticed it. I started running my own show. I've been promoting it like crazy for about 2 years now. I started running my own show and I was like, let's see if I'm actually good. Like, what did I learn? And I found out, yeah, I could. Because here's the real testament to stand-up. If you can perform in front of people who don't give a fuck if you live or die, that's how you know you're good. If you can get those people to laugh, you're good. You're going to be all right. But we were doing cheat code shit. We were performing in front of people who already loved us and thought we were gods. At least that's what it felt like. But you know what I mean? They were throwing beads at us and shit and stuffed animals and stuff. They were fans. Like, they knew us from the internet. We were like, we have no idea how they view us. You can't even fathom that. I never thought I would ever fucking see the day where someone who's like 16 years old outside of a theater in like Wichita, Kansas is like, Dean, your podcast saved my life. What? How do you think? Like, I don't even know how to deal with that. I can't even compute that. So yeah, it was pretty necessary to have this hard reset on my career, because what I learned is that I'm good at stand-up. And I have a lot of people who like me, who are friends with me, who are understanding of my past indiscretions and digital footprint. They're like, yeah, you were a kid. But we're in our late 20s and early 30s now. Let's fucking hang out. Let's do it. Time's ticking. Let's get these jokes. Let's get this fucking set done. Let's record this. Let's submit that to this fucking festival. You know what I mean? It wasn't all about optics, views, and all that YouTube bullshit anymore. Life got real. Because when you're stuck in that YouTube bullshit, yeah, it's all about optics. It's all about this cross-promo optics bullshit. How do they look? Anyway. Life started to become pretty good, and I felt good, and I was working and stuff, and I was just like, okay, but I had to mute my buddies on Instagram. I couldn't, just to protect my own mental health. I couldn't see what they were doing. I didn't not want to see their fucking tour photos. I did not want to see them smile. That picture, you know, like that like quintessential tour picture where they take a photo facing the back of the stage and the photographer is taking a picture of them and the big crowds in the background. If I saw one of those that I wasn't, like, I was freaking out. Had so much FOMO. I was so fucking mad at myself and them and everything. I couldn't see that shit. But also every time I saw those pictures, it still was in there. Like, how fucking could you? Because it's like a breakup. Like, it's literally like a breakup. It's like, oh, look, you're still having fun out there? Well, you don't miss me? Like, that's what it felt like. It was so crazy. I was going insane. Because it's a very unique situation. And by the way, my therapist, when I told her all of this, she was like, I never thought I'd ever hear anything like this in my life. For real, my therapist, Laura, she was like, what? Hang on, so you dressed up as Kanye West on Halloween. You fucking fool. Why? And I was like, I don't know why. I was an idiot. I'm sorry. And she was like, okay. And then you were like a rich touring famous comedian for like 9 years. And for like 3 years. And then one day someone like went and found those pics and started putting them on the internet. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. And then your best friends fired you? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, yeah, you're pretty fucked up. All right, let's get started. And then, obviously, after a year of therapy, I was diagnosed with PTSD, and it's just... And she was like, you gotta get new friends, man. She was like, you gotta get new friends. And I told her everything about the Toronto scene and everything, and like how many relationships are rekindled, and you know how much better I was doing, and I just started my stomach growled. I just started to feel like a lot better with what I was doing, and it took a lot of time, but you know, I still hung out with the fellas and stuff. I still, you know, we would go to like concerts and shit together, and it was just it was a lot. It's just not the same because we're not in the same tax bracket anymore. We don't do the same shit anymore. We don't really have everything in common anymore. You know, it's sad. Now, where this all kind of ends, I don't know. How this all ends, I don't know. I just wanted to update the listeners of this podcast. You know, I know a lot of people. I apologize. I won't be able to upload this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify because I never owned the rights to it because fucking Curtis's management team did, and they terminated the podcast thing on that. So that sucks. Oh yeah, what was the last email I got from them? That was like, because I searched Libsyn, which was the podcast hosting platform thing that I used. This is crazy. And I searched it like in my email, and then I found my my direct artist management termination notice email, and it was like, Dean, thank you for taking the time to chat. As we discussed, we've been reviewing all options. By the way, this email is from March 12th, 2024. We've been reviewing all options over the last few months, and the photos of you in blackface that were released last year go against the company's values, and we can no longer represent you and your career. The next steps here will first include all outstanding accounts and balances in our possession. Accounts include Libsyn podcasting hosting, merchandise hosting service, and then I had an outstanding balance, and yeah. Thanks for taking the time, Dean, and the best of luck in your career. Thanks, guys. That's business. That's the thing. That's business. That's business. But like, don't go into like, don't get famous with your two best friends if you don't, if one of you, if there's multiple, if one of you isn't ready just to get absolutely fucking heartbroken. That's it. Because the worst kind of heartbreak is an understandable one. Whoa, Dean. Whoa, Dean. Whoa. Well, I hope someone just paused it and like grabbed their eyes. You know what I mean? I hope some like that Will Smith meme of him like with a cigarette or whatever. I hope someone just did that. A lot of people too were like, "Oh man, you're going to write the best jokes about this." No, I'm not. Because I don't think it's a good thing to write jokes about someone. I don't think it's good to write jokes about a breakup if you would take that person back in a heartbeat if they asked. Like, I'm not even kidding. If you can't write, like if you're a boyfriend who got dumped, right? You can't go write jokes about your ex-girlfriend and start telling them on stage if you know in your heart you would take them back if they wanted to get back together. That's the thing. But I also know that other people are like, no, like you could write jokes about like, you know, like you doing blackface. And I was like, no, I can't. It's not fucking funny. Like, it's not. I'm not kidding. I'm not actually, I know my voice can fluctuate and shit, but I'm not fucking joking. Like, it's not funny that I did that. It's fucked up that I did that. I never want to write jokes about that. What I'd rather write jokes about is my experience in being in trouble on the internet and all the shit I've had to face and all the stuff I've done. Dude, I've been fucking destroyed. I've been destroyed. I'm farting right now. I don't care. Right near the mic. Great. Now I'm going to throw up on the mic. Oh, like, I've been fucked. I've been destroyed. It's sad as hell that my mom is like, so is Curtis ever going to do like a thing? Like, are you ever going to go back on? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I gave him quite the scare. I gave him quite the scare. His fans went, if you ever do anything with that guy ever again, we'll kill you. And then he went, oh, okay. Like, that's exactly what it was. I had to be dragged to Curtis Town Square. And I got the guillotine. That's what had to happen. And then Jacob went, sorry for being a bystander, everyone. And then everyone, it's okay. Like, sorry for being a bystander. Okay. Like, and by the way, I love them still. They're my best friends. They're both my first loves. I get it. But they made me sad. They made me understandably sad. That's it. With peace and love. You guys broke my heart. I love you. I get it. But ow, how could you? That's it. And I fucked up too. It all comes back to me, by the way. It all comes back to me. I'm not blaming anyone for anything. It's all my fault. I did that fucked up thing. The circumstances that came afterwards and the situations I was in afterwards, that's its own thing. That's the universe. That is what it is. But I did something so fucked up, disgusting, and racist when I was 18 years old, and it fucked my career up, probably for the rest of my life. To be honest, I've already experienced a couple moments of that where I'm trying to get things, commercials, roles in little TV shows, shit like that. I've seen it. I've heard from people. Yeah, we're probably going to go in a different direction. So-and-so, I was told that you'd, like, I'm not kidding. I have texts. I have emails. Because we found what you've done. We're not going to involve you in our project. Or, before that even, we're not going to involve you in our project with the slight chance that if this project gets huge, we don't want your name attached because your digital footprint could fuck up our good thing. Another great thing I've fucking read in real time over text. And you know what? I get it. You know why? I have to get it. I can't be like, no, what? Like, I get it. It sucks, but that's going to be life from now on. So you better get good at writing, Dean. So, how does this all end? It ends with me trying not to commit suicide. I'm not saying that to be funny. It ends with me clicking stop recording and going back on fucking Indeed to find a job. Now, how this ended and how this came about was that I had a full circle moment where Curtis was recording a special here in Toronto at the Danforth Music Hall. And I don't think I was invited, but I asked to go because I was like, I want to see. That's where I live. Yeah, of course. Good. Oh, I better be able to come to the one show that I live in the city of. You know what I mean? And the thing is I've taken a lot of strides to move on from this and keep myself busy, keep myself occupied with comedy and shows and stuff like that. But it really fucked me up that they didn't. Because the day of that show, I know I was put on guest lists. I know I was going to be hanging out with them in the green room. I'm not sitting in the fucking audience. I don't want to be near the audience. And I know they wouldn't want to be near me. Or maybe they wouldn't even care. Because it's been 3 years. Now, anyway, the worst is how they didn't forget. I got a call from Curtis's manager. Hey, there's specific guidelines for your arrival tonight. I'm not kidding. This is a real phone call. You need to come early so you don't see any fans and fans don't see you, and you need to leave late for the same reason, and you need to stay in the green room the entire time. We can't have you interacting with fans. We can't have you out in the lobby. I wasn't going to do any of this, by the way, because I'm 30. You know what I mean? I'm not 22 years old and clout hungry anymore. I wasn't going to be like, ooh, maybe I'll get noticed. I used to be like that, of course, because it was new and exciting. But now, fuck that. Love my privacy. Loves his privacy now? No fucking way. Crazy. Crazy how that works out. Listen, my lessons are learned. I have been through a lot. I've been through, when it comes to this internet bullshit, when it comes to the landscape of how stuff goes, like trying to make it in like, the comedy / entertainment industry, like, and to try to maintain relevance and stuff. I've been through so much. I've been through more than a lot of people. And I've been through most people's I've been through most people's worst fucking nightmare. And came out on the other side. I know. I mean, pick a name. This happened to anyone else that you like watching or listening to, they would have fucking killed themselves. That's no word of a lie. I mean that with my whole fucking chest. And I'm not trying to make a joke about suicide, but like, it's astounding that I'm still standing. For real, it is. Because I know a ton of people are like, what the fuck's that guy gonna do now? He's fucked forever. And every day I have to wake up going, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm gonna be okay. Like, I joke around about it with friends of mine that are comedians. They're like, Dean, your life's ruined, isn't it? And I go, I guess we're gonna find out. Guess we'll fucking only time will tell. I don't know. Anywho, back to this phone call I had to have with Curtis's manager. So it just sucked to like have a conversation with him that I was like, this is such a 2023 phone call. You know what I mean? Like, it's 2025. This is late. This is late December, so it's still 2025. But I was like, dude, I was like, I get it. I was being polite. I was like, I get it. It's also not about me. It's Curtis's night. He was recording an amazing special in an amazing venue, and it's a real accomplishment, and I'm proud of him. I always will be. But I was like, I just felt like a weird prisoner of war. Like, I just felt like a weird, like, I had to stay in the green room the whole time. Couldn't watch the show. Couldn't really listen to it. Couldn't be in any view of anybody else. They had to hide me, and it was a little disrespectful. But it wasn't about me. It was about them. But what I learned was, for my own pride, during that phone call, where the good movie should have ended, was I should have been like, thanks, but no thanks. I didn't know this shit was still alive and well. You know what I mean? I should have gone, oh, okay, never mind then. There's still guidelines? Fuck that. But I went, still glad I went, because I was there to support my friend. I had a gift for him. I love him. I'm proud of him. He did a lot for me. He still does a lot for me. Like, he's there. He's there. You know? You should see the reels he sends me. He's hilarious. This guy's got great taste. It's the last stage of friendship. Oh, good. Another reel. But I was sitting in this green room the whole time. Wasn't allowed to leave. I'm 30, guys. Wasn't allowed to leave a green room. But they were still treating me like I was like, you know what I mean? Like every time I'd get up, like they would like figuratively put a hand near a gun on their hip. Like they would be like, where are you going? Are you all right? And I'd be like, I'm fine. I'm just peeing. Like I'm still like, they're keeping it alive. You know what I mean? They're doing it. Because they're just fucked up managers who want to keep their jobs so bad because they work for the richest YouTuber ever that they're like, hey, where are you going? Put that down. Are you going to, hey, you're not going anywhere you're not supposed to go, are you? And I go, I'm 30. Like, no. I also don't like any of this anymore. Like, I missed you guys. It's good to see you. But, like, everyone chill. Like, that's what it felt like. And to deal with that, I had 6 to 8 Bud Lights in that green room. And that was fun. And it was nice to catch up with people. It was nice to see people I hadn't seen in a while. It was nice to see people. And, you know, it's really weird to look in the eyes of people who are like, dude, we believe in you. We think you're the funniest one. Don't tell the boys we said that. It was really cool to see those people go, how you been? And I go, you have my number, don't you? If you really cared, you text me. But I get it. Life's busy. It's such a hard thing to grasp. It's such a hard thing to like tug back and forth in your brain. Like, yeah, this just exists without me now and it's fine. Like, it is what it is. And I feel so much better because I'm not a part of that machine anymore. To be honest, it's a blessing I had to be kicked out. In the long run, such a blessing. Because while I was sitting there, I also realized, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm just like chilling with a former employer. I was like, ugh, like I just feel like such a fucking loser. But then that would fade out. I would still like have laughs with the boys and have a good time and stuff. But like every time I was like sitting by myself, I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, what are you fucking doing here? But also, while I was sitting there, and this might be kind of rude, but I was thinking, like, while I was sitting there, I was like, and this is also just a drunk thought I had, but I still think it kind of resonates. I was looking around and I was like, Jesus Christ, you guys are still doing this, huh? Like in my head, I said that, and by that I mean like I was watching Jacob, you know, he had his fucking overalls or his jumpsuit on, his costume, if you will, like his thing, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's right, Jacob's got to turn into Jacob before he gets on stage. Curtis has to turn into Curtis before he gets on stage. They're different guys on there, like, and everyone's doing it, and I was just like, oh, that's right, like, it's the same, like, nothing's really different. And no matter what, great show, proud of them, but I was just looking around like, I'm so, like, I really am happy I don't have to, like, hide who I really am to perform in front of these kids anymore, because I found out through therapy I was hiding my actual personality to appeal to his audience so much because I was deep down incredibly guilty of my disgusting digital footprint. I was queer baiting because I was like, I hope no one finds my old tweets and blackface pictures. I wanted everyone to like me, and I was still just skating by, if you think about it. I was still like people were keeping a watchful eye. Like I was filled with so much disgusting guilt and stuff that I didn't know how to deal with properly, that I didn't know how to get ahead of it properly, that I just literally had to sit there and just look up at the sky and go, dude, you gotta wait till you're actually canceled. Like you can't get ahead. You just gotta live it up, and you know what? That's how you do it, I guess. That's how I did it. I don't know, but I was so like. Anyway, like I said, it's been an hour. I am better off on my own. I am better off going into my own direction. You know? It's a beautiful stage in my life that I'll never forget. I have precious memories from it. I love my friends to the day I die. I hope they love me to the day I die. They got a funny way of showing it, but sorry. But I got to meet so many incredible people, and I got to see so many beautiful places, and it was all because of my friend who was like, "You're coming," and they can't take that away from me. But for my own mental health and for my own way to be my own person, to have my own identity in this crazy business that I'm trying to really break back into constantly. You know, I sit in my office. I'm standing right here right now. I look around. I don't see any of the tour posters I used to have up because I took them down because I realized I was like, what am I doing? Why am I looking? Why did I frame jobs I've been fired from? Would anyone do that? No. Let's go create our own job. Like, let's go have our own thing. How about that? So that's all it is. I hope this was a fun listen for people. I hope people enjoyed this. There will be no video because I can't even imagine setting up a camera in here anymore. I think the last time I did that was when I uploaded a bad, ill-advised apology video to Twitter. But I don't know. This is just an update for the fans of this podcast. And if you're not a fan of this podcast and you listen to this whole thing, oh shit, just be nice, okay? Just be nice, all right? I've been through enough, and I know, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm really fucking sorry. You know? My reputation's dog shit on the internet, you know, but that's the way the internet goes. Screaming failures and whispering accomplishments. That's the other thing, too. I have so much fucking PTSD from the internet that, like, if anything, like, mentions me, I'm like, oh, it's probably bad. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, wait, no, I've actually uploaded funny things before. And, like, that's what, they're just, someone reposted that. You know what I mean? Like, every time I'm tagged in something, I'm like, oh, God, it's come. And then they're like, oh, no, someone just reposted, like, a funny reel I made. I have to constantly remind myself, no, you've done good things on the internet. Like, you've made people laugh. Like, you've done things that people have enjoyed and shared and whatever. You guys get it. I don't know. I just wanted to update everyone. I'm gonna go back to job hunting because the market's dog shit right now, and listen. Thank you for listening, and also thank you for understanding. It was good to talk to you guys again.